Good morning, everyone. Good morning, the colleagues from KAIST and NTU. And if there are any students who are waking up early from Singapore side, and also the staff who are here with us today. So welcome to this morning talks. First and foremost, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Professor Hong Song Bam, Head of MSE Department in KAIST, for his support for this workshop. And also from joint activities between NTU and KAIST. We are definitely looking forward to more active collaboration between the two institutions. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank Prof. John and his team for the excellent organization of this workshop. I think it sets a very nice scene for NTU and MSE collaborations in the ongoing years and days and years and months to come. Okay, so yesterday I had an opportunity to listen to some of the work done by both our NTU and KAIST colleagues, talking about soft electronics, flexible electronics, electronic skin, using AI as a means of materials design, and some exciting work in energy and neuromorphic work from faculty from both sides. I think the talks lineup today is just as exciting. It is actually, there are a lot of joint or common interests between the two groups I can see now, and there's a huge opportunity for us to work together. I know some of the colleagues are already working together, so I would strongly like to encourage this to continue. I believe that is how Professor Hong is thinking about as well in the future. So I hope to expand this, and then also when opportunity arises, our collaboration should come together as a common projects or initiatives across the institutions. So today I will spend a little bit of time talking about the School of Materials Science and Engineering in NTU. I believe in the recent talk that I gave to KAIST, actually I also gave some introduction. So I believe some of these slides might be common. I mean, you will see it before. But if there's any questions at all, please stop me at any time. So some introduction to the university first. NTU is a very inclusive and very diverse university as well. So in the last 2018, 2019, 2020 competitive research grant, in total, we secured about 1 billion or so as a whole university. So we are a very research active university. We work very closely with companies under joint lab, corp labs type of model. We also bring in a lot of fundamental research grants, which is under the Ministry of Education, or also the National Research Foundation, and also A-star institutions. So there is actually a wide spectrum ranging from very commercialized translatable work to very low TRL scientific research related work that's ongoing. So it's a huge spectrum. So our student population essentially is about 34,000 or so. It's quite a fairly large university. Our undergraduate population is about 28,000. Our graduate population is another 8,000 or so. So out of the 8,000 or so graduate students, over 3,000 are PhD students. So they are research students who are actually focusing purely on research and working closely together with our teams. So our international students population, the undergraduate population is mostly made up of local students, because we are so-called a public university. So our mandate is essentially to educate our local population more. But of course, we also encourage international students as well. So our undergraduate population is about mostly local and some international. But our graduate students population, if you look at our PhD students population, majority are actually international. So the same goes for our faculty and staff as well. So about 68% of our faculty are international. And actually that also includes the researchers as well. So we bring in a lot of research fellows, research scientists from all over the world. So this actually makes it a very vibrant and very international environment that students and staff get to work in. So then we go to the College of Engineering. School of Materials Science and Engineering is part of the College of Engineering. Our College of Engineering is one of the largest engineering colleges in the world. The ranking is not so bad. It's about 4 under the QS ranking. So School of Material Science and Engineering is one of the smallest engineering school in the College of Engineering. We have about 44 faculty or so. Although I say that this is one of the smallest engineering school under the College of Engineering, we are probably one of the largest material science school in the world. So this makes it a very nice environment. We have a sufficient, very, very critical mass of people working in various areas, and that brings up the vibrancy of the research in the different areas as well. So of course, if you look at our vision, we want to be the leading material science and engineering institution worldwide. So this is actually the same as most institutions in the world who are actually working in this area, of course. So to get to that vision, what we set out to do essentially are twofold. One is actually in education. The other one is actually in research and translational work. So in education, we want to actually train globally connected and interdisciplinary students, which are not just for the current industry, it's also for the future industry and future research that we can foresee that's coming up. And also in the research sense, we want to be able to create intellectual value and also to inspire need-based research and translate science and technology into marketplace. So essentially, research has to have a certain goal in mind. In some cases, the translational time may be shorter. In some cases, the translational time may be longer. So in either case, we would like to see that this is actually going somewhere, and we help actually the students and the staff who are involved also has the common goal in this direction. So this is an overview of the School of Material Science and Engineering. We are very lucky by subject ranking, the QS ranking, we are ranked #1 this year. And for the US News ranking, we have been ranked #1 for the last 4 years, I think 4 years, yes. So this global ranking for the US News ranking is of course started only in 2014. So in fact, it's a very nice recognition for what we are doing. So our program is very simple. We only have one bachelor program. We have one Master of Science, one Master of Engineering, and one PhD program. So our undergraduate population is about 770 or so, and our PhD student population is around about 150 PhD students. So very active research culture here. So a lot of the teams, a lot of the faculty has a group which consists of a few of these PhD students. So essentially, there are a lot of research work that's ongoing in individual labs. So as I said, we have about 44 members of faculty. And the publications in the recent 5 years is this number. So this is actually it's just a number. It doesn't put things into perspective. If we compare to another engineering school which is very near to us, is double our faculty size, or more than double our faculty size. The publication is round about the same. So essentially, our faculty are publishing in good impact areas. And at the same time, they are also very prolific in wanting to share the knowledge with the community, which is excellent. So the external grant funding in the last 5 years is about 200 mil or so. So the interesting thing is actually we have a lot of affiliated research lab institutions which are actually working where our faculty are actually has some activities which is ongoing in these labs as well. So we have the Center for Sustainable Materials, SUSMET B2R2. So we have also iFlex, which is on the flexible electronics. So this is actually led by Xiao Dong, and also Max Planck NTU Joint Lab, again led by Xiao Dong. So the Nuri Research Institute is actually more a water-based research focus, and Singapore Energy Research Institute, and also the Ariane, also again an energy research focus. ENRI essentially and Temasek Lab is a defense-focused research institution. So basically, we have the director for ENRI also come from the School of Material Science and Engineering. Same goes for Ariane, which is also another energy research institution. The director actually comes from the School of Material Science and Engineering. So although our school is small, a lot of our faculty are very active in setting up institutions or lab or centers which actually focuses on certain areas which is close to our heart, and also bring together other faculties from the other schools and also other organizations. So of course, there's health tech as well, and also Rolls-Royce, which is focused on aerospace or next generation power needs for the aerospace industry. So this is the team for the management team. So essentially, it's myself, and then I'm helped by a huge team of very talented people, actually. So today with us, we have Kiwei. Yesterday, you have heard Lydia and also Suzhou talk about their various area of research. On top of taking up management role, they do teaching, they do excellent research as well. So I really thank them for all their efforts in helping out and bringing together all these activities. So an overview of the research that the School of Material Science and Engineering are involved in, but to do that, maybe I give you a little bit of perspective how Singapore funding situation work. We work in a five years planning pockets. So essentially the RIE 2025 started in RIE in 2021. So there's actually 5 years to go in every funding pockets. So in the coming 5 years and in the current, which is starting now already, the focus for the nation, RIE stands for Research, Innovation and Enterprise. So the focus for this research plan for the whole nation essentially is manufacturing, human health and potential, urban solutions and sustainability, and smart nations and digital economy. So these are actually not surprises. I mean, these topics are definitely not a surprise because it is probably the focus of most of the countries in the world right now. So, but what does it mean closer to us? It means that actually the funding will actually be into this area in the coming 5 years as well. Of course, essentially their main focus is these 4 different areas. And if you look at this and if you expand this circle outwards, you will see that actually the research that's ongoing in the School of Material Science and Engineering is very much already in line with this. We have material simulations and machine learning, sustainable bio-inspired materials, energy, functional and defense materials, bio materials, and also nanomaterials, low-dimensional materials. So these are areas which fits very nicely with the current trend for the university and the country. So this helps our faculty and also collaborators in bringing in the right funding to support some of these activities that we are very much already doing. So in order to support all the research activities that's ongoing, we of course need the facility to support this. We have some common lab, which is actually service lab. We actually support users for all sorts of users with these needs. And we also have some common university laboratory or facilities as well. So today I'll take an opportunity to share with you one of these central facility, which is called FACS. It stands for Facility for Analysis, Characterization, Testing, and Simulation. So this is a university characterization facility which originates from School of Material Science and Engineering. So at the start, many years ago, we already have electron microscopy, X-ray, and these tools. But we realized that the need for this tool isn't confined to just our school. In fact, as the research progresses, as the trend, as the needs progresses, in fact, a lot of the other schools, a lot of the other colleges have these needs as well. And as a national level, there's also this requirement. So essentially, this center specializes on electron microscopy and X-ray diffraction and also surface analysis. So we have about 9 scientists. I should have added the picture in, but sorry that I missed out the picture. I have 9 scientists working with us in this university facility. They have many years of experience in each of these techniques. So the kind of activities that we work with the users and also collaborators on in this facility is essentially consultation type of work. So we do things like scientific problems. We come together and discuss about problems. Either we already have the solution or we suggest solutions that might actually be useful, and then we work together to help the scientists or the scientific group or the teams to find solutions to all these questions that they have. So we also do a lot of consultation in basics to advanced techniques. So advising them what are the techniques that's useful for them. So of course, in education, we always train them on how to interpret results, how to do instrument how to use the instrument, and then we is very active in organizing workshops and seminars to teach our users and our students and researchers on how to do this. Actually, we have users that's coming from Germany, coming from Japan, also coming to us for a few weeks in a row, either to learn about techniques or actually to work on particular problems that they have. So they also come in to do that with us. And also we have a lot of partnership with local and overseas institutions. We have a MOU with NIMS in Japan. We also have an MOU with AMMRF in Australia. This is actually to expand the type of characterization expertise that we already have, that we wanted to expand it to include other expertise as well, so that it provides a very good platform for users from all over the world. So we do a lot of collaboration in this aspect. So this is just an example of the type of instruments that we have. We have some aberration corrected microscope in the purposely built room. And we also have some X-ray diffractometers, SEMs, and these are just some of the examples that we do. So things like HREM, nanoanalysis, in situ studies, we do a lot of in situ studies in these facilities as well. So then I will switch back to the wonderful colleagues that I have. So out of the 38 scientists, which is in the highly cited research list 2020, out of the 38 in the whole of NTU, 9 of these faculty actually come from the School of Material Science and Engineering. You have already heard from Xiaotong and Pui Si, and today you will hear, and also Nerpan. Today you will hear from Alex as well. So these colleagues, these MSc colleagues are essentially publishing in very high impact, are making an impact in the area that they are doing very much so. And at the same time, or together with the scientific impact, they are also making a lot of translational impact. So essentially, there are a lot of spun-off and a lot of startup companies. The culture for translational work is actually very rich in School of Material Science and Engineering, simply because the nature of the work itself. We did do a lot of translational work. A lot of my faculty actually has their own companies, which is set up to actually translate some of this work. So in fact, there was one colleague who chose to take 2 years off to actually start up a company. That is also something that we also cater to. Essentially, we want to encourage this because this brings together our students' enthusiasm in entrepreneurship and translational work as well. So of course, these are just some examples of the startup companies that we have. I should update this very soon. So the research collaboration, these are just some examples of research collaboration that we work with agency, hospitals, industry, and other academic institutions. So I have about a few more minutes. I'll just share with you one thing for those students which are present today with us here. So we also do graduate, of course, we have a very active graduate program. So we have a PhD program, we have Masters of Engineering, Masters of Science, and also joint and dual PhD degree program. So I hope that in the near future, we will also develop a joint program with KAIST as well. So what I wanted to share is actually this mini Masters and Masters of Science program. So this is actually a thought program. So basically it's actually a Masters of Science is actually a Masters by coursework. So we do this by doing an online, fully online Masters program. This fully online Master program is actually based on a platform, which is the Atlas platform. So our online master's program is essentially, like what I said, it's fully online. We co-developed this platform together with Parmenides in Germany. There is currently no platform that allow for all these various features, the dynamic reasoning, the analytics that's coming together with the education and things like that. Is actually missing in most of the platform or all of the platform that we surveyed. So this is a very student-centric, student-directed learning platform that's designed to suit different students' level and designed to guide the students in their learning direction. So helping them to make sure that they know what is missing in their knowledge circle, and then they can actually enlarge this over the years. So it's actually not a one-off platform. It's actually meant to actually also serve as an alumni platform for the students to build on knowledge that they would like to build on, or for alumni to build on knowledge that they would like to learn. So this year, for just this year, we have an oversubscription of about 500% applicants. So essentially the Master of Science is very much sought after, but we couldn't take in so many students because we also still want a very dedicated interactions with the students. Actually, although I say fully online, the professors actually spend a lot of time offline on different discussion topics. So they learn the topic online. They will have a discussion with the professors offline or online as well. I mean, at different timing or suited timing. So this interactions actually still goes on. And in fact, this is more directed, which is actually much more desired by our students. And this doesn't restrict to students who are located in Singapore, can be all over the world. So which is very exciting for us. So for those students who are interested, or for anybody who's interested, this is actually a place to sort for more information. So the last slide that I want to share with you is actually our joint PhD and dual degree program. So these are some of the examples of the joint PhD program that we have with different institutions all over the world. So we have some with Sweden, with Germany, with France, Austria, also India and Israel and UK and Korea as well. So we certainly hope that something can come up from the discussion that we have with KAIST. And with that, I would like to thank all of you for your attention. And if there's any questions, I would be very happy to take.
Thank you very much. Very detailed introduction of the department. So
I hope it's not too detailed, sorry.
Yeah, but it was detailed enough. And I was impressed by the size and the quality of work from your department. And also not only the scientific program, but also the close ties with the local industry. That is also impressive too.
Thank you.
So,
thank you.
So like Professor Lam said, any question from the audience about, Professor John?
Okay, I have a question. So yeah, thank you very much for the talk. Every time you explain about the NTU, I'm more interested in your unit.
Glad to hear that, Prof. John.
Okay, so I have basically I have two questions. The first one is looks like your undergraduate is international students rate is relatively low, but the master PhD is almost over 50%. So I mean, in Singapore there's only a couple of universities, so those graduates supposed to be stay in Singapore. So what's the percentage of those foreign students who got PhD from your department stay and find job in Singapore or just go out?
Actually, Prof. John, this is actually a very good question, because actually the Singapore, actually, or at least from the school perspective, we train the students. We hope that some of these students will stay on and perhaps to contribute to the industry or the university or institution, research institutions after their PhD. But we are not, we are also very open for them to go back to wherever they come from, and also to other places in the whole wide world. And they actually bring back in a lot more collaborations this way, I have to say so. So the percentage, I think, if I'm not wrong, I didn't get the exact number. I can only estimate perhaps about 50 to 60% actually stay on, and the rest actually goes on to other careers in all parts of the world. But as I said before, actually when they travel to other parts of the world, they also bring back a different type of collaborations back to the school. And in fact, they keep a close ties with their PIs. And with that, right, they actually have very strong collaborations wherever they go to. So Singapore has this, Singapore also give out scholarships to international students. In some cases, a lot of the time, Singapore perspective is actually these students need not stay here, but they already form a tie with Singapore. So essentially, wherever they go, they have this relationship with Singapore, which in the midst of their career, in the future of their career, at some point, it will actually come back, and that actually benefits the nation, the university, the school. So we have this very open perspective of international students. So that's why we welcome international students.
I see. Actually, if it's less than 50%, sometimes people think it's drainage. So I think the number is pretty good. So, okay, the second question is actually when I was in Hong Kong for my sabbatical leave, I see that HKUST also has very successful online master program, but Korean government generally does not allow that much freedom to have those online masters in various ways. So you mentioned that how successful, like HKS today claim that one of their online master student is the founder of the world's biggest drone company, and then they brought out a lot of companies and incomes into the university. So income-wise, I know it's very good, but about the university integration-wise, is it beneficial? What do you think about?
Actually, I understand where you're coming from. Actually, I have to first say, in the whole of Singapore, there is no other online master's program. I mean, at least from the university, from NTU and NUS perspective, because actually when we put this up, we actually, the first consideration that we have was actually we need to maintain the standard. We need to make sure that the students that we train are actually excellent students, the best students that we can train. So when we put up the program, we are very cognizant of all these requirements. And when we go to MOE question, our Ministry of Education question us a lot. So when it comes to the program development and the program setup, we were very careful in how we do it. And that is the reason why in the selection of these students, I did not mention all the potential students that come into this master program go through an interview process. So they do not everyone, I mean, in fact, the oversubscription was so huge that we need to string first, and then we focus on interviewing these few students. So the students' quality is excellent so far, I have to say. And we intend to maintain this. We do not intend to expand this for our revenue consideration. Of course, as you said, it's actually a good revenue, but this is only one of our consideration, but it's not the major consideration. The consideration that we have is to maintain the reputation of the university, to maintain the reputation of material science and engineering in NTU. So this we are very conscious. So I'm not sure whether I answered this question, Prof, because actually it is a lot of balancing act. And I hope that we got the formulation correct. So far, it seems to be very good. So some of these Master of Science students, in fact, are very strong PhD candidates that comes into our university eventually.
I see. So maybe next time we should benchmark your program.
We should have a discussion. It's actually a very exciting area because there's a lot of possibility. We do a lot of blending. So when the students are keen to come to Singapore, even though they are doing fully master online program, they can actually take up a project with our professors. It's a 6 months project to 1 year project. So they are very intensive doing research project with us. In fact, it gives us a very good platform to understand where the students are and how the students are standing with the rest of the research students and how they can fit into the research program. So it's actually almost an introduction to the program, research program already. So it's a very nice platform, I have to say.
I see. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I also have one follow-up question. So among the metrics to determine the ranking by external agencies, the one area that we are very weak is globalization, or the percentage of foreign student and foreign faculty. And in that regard, I think NTU has been very successful. And I think speaking English is one of the factors that help attract foreign members of the school. But are there like a very successful strategy, institutional strategy done by a department or school-wise to help attract the foreign student and faculties?
Okay, so for the foreign students, for the undergraduate, as I said before, we are restricted by what the government says to us. But the international students for PhD and research program, there is a less of a cap, so we do not have that stringent a cap, so we expand it. So what we do very much is actually outreach to our collaborators. We like to bring in researchers from all over the world, the scientists from all over the world. So our postdoc and research students is our area where we bring in a lot of international people. I mean, I have staff who comes from Japan, from Portuguese and US and all sorts of places. So essentially we have no, the English platform is actually very good. Actually, frankly speaking, I mean, I've interacted with so many Korean professors and your colleagues in KAIST. You guys speak beautiful English. And it's not actually a barrier right now. I think the barrier perhaps is actually the working language in the lab as well. The working language in the lab essentially is one thing that is actually, I think it's a cultural switch. So from whatever comfortable language that they are in, switching to a common language that everybody understands, that helps a lot. So for faculty-wise, we are even more open. We don't discriminate against foreigners. Of course, we love the foreigners. We also love Singaporeans. We also love Asians. So essentially, what we want is actually a vibrant environment where everybody can come together to work. So the selection criteria, the first thing is the talent, and then the rest are not important. Yes. So I think KAIST is moving in a very good direction. So I mean, like what I have said in the talks that I've heard about, and I'm looking forward to hear more talks from your department. I think the language is not an issue. The internationalization is also not an issue because all your professors are actually trained worldwide. So I think it's just it's a timing, maybe matter of timing. Over time, it will change.
Yeah, thank you very much. You made a good point that the working language has to be English, but especially among students, we have this mentality that communicating with English is less efficient, much less efficient than our mother tongue. So that's one of the reasons we are a little hesitant to change working language to English. Okay, anyway, thanks again for the introduction of the department, and now we know much better about your department too.